Hello again, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Mr. Richard, and today is day 18 of the actually now completed book. I just finished my last final writings on it, so it is actually completed. The book is going to be called Finding Yourself Through Music and Shit, and this is the video series that goes along with it, and today's song is day number 18. It's by a band called Sudden Onset, and the song is called Ruin Me. Check it out. Okay, so now that you've checked it out, some of you might know sudden onset is a medical condition, and that was part of the band. They were all doctors, EMTs, and medical field type people. And they got together, made this band. Well, the way I heard about it is I knew the drummer. So that's what everybody says, hey, I'm with the drummer, yeah. No, I knew him. So I was working with them down at this biotech company down in California, and we had some conversations about music, and he had come over and asked if I had the William Shatner CD. And I was like, yeah. And he said, can I borrow it? Yeah, here you go. Go ahead, listen to it. So he listened to it, brought it back, and it's like, yeah, this is really cool. And I was like, yeah, you want a copy of it? He's like, no, I'll just buy it. And I'm like, point for the music industry. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. And we're talking, and he says, yeah, I'm in a band. And I'm, okay, first off, when anybody in LA tells you they're in a band, you're just like, yeah, sure, yeah, you must be really good, yeah. Well, the problem is that everybody flies into LA to get discovered. Well, you've got everybody and their mother who's a waiter, the guy that takes your tickets at the movie theater, like everybody and their mother's there in the band. They're a musician, they're a singer, songwriter, porn star, producer, writer, rapper, photographer. Everybody's done that. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't think much of it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm listening and here talk about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. But then, not long after that, he comes over and he's like, hey, brought you a CD. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. What is it? And he's like, here you go. And I'm like, what's this? And he goes, it's my band. And I'm like, well, look at this. He's got a CD and like front and back and like even got a barcode, fucking official. So first thing I do, of course, is, open it up, and there they are right there. The guy right there in the drums, that's my friend. His name's Aaron. There's not a whole lot of liner notes, but still, hey, this is official. And I'm like, cool, this is some shit right here. I'm very, very excited. So I listened to it, and I'm gonna give him some critique on it. Not that my opinion really matters, because who cares what I fucking think? But I do. So my opinion matters to me. So I listened to it, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not really my kind of music, but it's not bad. All right, first song, second song, I'm like, wow, this is almost kind of boring, getting kind of embarrassed for him. And then third song comes on, I'm like, okay, this is not bad. I like this. It's rocking. It's really good. Then fourth song comes on, which is today's song, Ruin Me. And I'm just like, oh, this is good. I like this song. I can imagine this actually being played on the radio. So I finish it up. There's two more songs. It's only 6 songs on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's only 6 songs on there. And I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty good. I get to the second to last song. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. And then the last song is just the lead singer and acoustic guitar, and they're playing. And the song's not that bad. And I'm like, okay, no big deal. So I go over to him, and I'm like, so, I liked your CD. I listened to it. My favorite song is Ruin Me. And he goes, that's funny, because that's what everybody says, is that's their favorite song. I'm like, dude, I could totally hear that on the radio. It's better than half the shit that's out there right now. It's like, oh, okay, well, thank you. He's like, we're going to be playing, if you want to come check us out, we got a show, gig. Oh, okay, yeah. Where's it at? He's like, it's down in Hollywood. The Whiskey? And I'm like, hold up. You're going to be playing at the Whiskey? Like, the one on Sunset Boulevard? He's like, oh yeah, right, that one. I'm like, everybody knows the whiskey. I'm like, oh, it's fucking off. Okay, so I'm like, yeah, I'm there. Totally. Went in. Yeah, I will make the time to be there because this is awesome. Um, when you have a friend or a family member that's doing something and you really want to support them because they need the support, like when they're, selling stuff door to door or having parties or whatever, you want to try and support them. When they want to be an actor, you want to help them. When they're being a musician, you want to help, encourage them and give them the path that they need, point them in the right direction, whatever. Don't be their only fan, but encourage them and help them, point them in the right way. So I go down there, well, with my ex-wife now, my wife at the time. I go down there and we check it out. So going there and I'm looking around, I'm like, wow, this is really kind of cool, kind of small though. I'm like, all right, well, there's this column right here. I'm just going to like lean up against this so I can create my own little space so I can keep an eye out what's going on, And I see them coming up on stage and they start setting their shit up. The thing about going to a real professional concert is that when you go in and you're filling up a stadium at 37,000 people and you look down, because I'm always in the nosebleeds, you look down and you see the band's already set up, somebody, and that's the difference between making it and on your way to making it. Number one, you're going to set your shit up until you have paid your dues, and then somebody else is going to be doing it for you. So with that in mind, they finish, they get the shit set up, they get up there, they start performing. Boom. And I'm like, yeah, this is really good. Rocking out, listening to it, jamming. I'm like, oh yeah. And they start, I think it was the third or fourth song that they went into. And the lead singer, he's like throwing shirts out in the audience. And I'm like, I gotta get me one of those. And he throws it in my general direction. And I'm like, elbowing bitches, get out of the way. And grab me a shirt. I got my shirt. Just saying. When it needs to happen, it needs to happen. So they play the Ruin Me. And I'm like, yeah, it's rocking. Yeah, it's cool. And the last song they did was a song called At Eye Level. And it's the last song on the CD here. And it's just the lead singer and the acoustic guitar. But for this performance, they amped it up. So everybody, there's a point they're, playing real nice and mellow. And then everybody joins in. You got the bass player, guitar. You got the drum. Boom, boom, boom. And it's like, oh, this is awesome. I really like this song now. This is great. I'm just so excited. Show's over. They break down their stuff. The next guy comes up, Danny Blitz. He had a song called If Ozzy Was My Dad, That Would Rock. And that was a good show too. But anyway, so Aaron gets off stage and he's schmoozing, talking with the people and, friends or whatever, asking them, how was it, blah, blah, blah. And he comes over to me and he's like, so how was it? What'd you think? And I'm like, I got two things to say. Okay, number one, that version of At Eye Level should have been on the CD. That was bomb. That was, love it. That was great. Love. He goes, yeah, we really, try to really make it, that much better. And I'm like, oh, it was perfect. Loved it. And he's like, and I'm like, yeah, the second thing, I was like, who's that guy up on stage looking so sad playing a bass? He's like, oh yeah, he's new. He's shy. So I don't know what happened with the bass player, but this guy had to stand in for him. And he's got his like ball cap pulled down over and he's like over there playing. And I'm like, that's really kind of weird. And well, it turns out that that guy was the brother of DJ Arrow, Tony Hawk's DJ. I'm like, oh, means nothing to me. Okay, whatever. I'm like, why does Tony Hawk need a DJ? He's skateboarding. Wiki. Anyway, so I love the show. It was great. For weeks afterwards, I couldn't get that song out of my head. It was in there. So I go over to Aaron and we're at work and I say, hey, it's like, I love that song, that version. I can't get it out of my head. You got to get a copy of that song for me, that version for me. And he's like, it's funny because we were set up to record that night. I'm like, oh, really? Really? And he's like, yeah, we recorded the whole show, but there was an audio problem. And so we didn't record it. It was no good. And I'm like, and I'm crying. I was heartbroken. So now that song, that version, only exists in these 1, 2, 3, 4 guys' head and in my head. And that means now I can't even share it with you. I could play the song and imitate the drums, but I don't think that's going to work for you. You'd be plugging your ears and like, oh man, I can't listen to this shit. Anyway, so with that, that's the end of it. Yeah. Subscribe to my channel. Don't forget. Tell people you think might like this channel to subscribe to it. Share it on Facebook. Tell everybody and their mother about it. Every other word out of your mouth should be Mr. Richard. I'm just saying. So, next week. Anyway, next week, got a song that is one of the first songs I can remember hearing on the radio when I was a kid. And when I was a special guest, too. Tune in for that.
You're so negative and a hater.